Amber Heard fired from Aquaman 2? Or is it just rumors or just BS? Next up on Just Talk. So, let's talk about it. And welcome to the Flicks, Picks, and the Nitpicks. And you already know I'm your humble host, Snow718, man. We here in the building. And we gotta get to more Amber Heard news. So let's just get to it, man. Look, bro. Amber Heard is a gift that keeps on giving everybody on social media, YouTube, and all the rest of it. So why can't I get some of this chicken feed? I want to get up in the coop and get some eats. But now, you know what it is. This channel is not about like getting into people personal business. That's not what this channel was built to do. It's really to talk about the movies and things that's very important, and we get into a lot of geek and pop culture information, and it's been floating. I listened to a lot of new movie pundits and some excellent ones that have really like broke it down. Now a lot of this is rumors. Now most of this is from the test screening, and I'm gonna be real with you. Are you surprised about the Amber Heard test screening and that she's in over 20 minutes? Really? Are we really going to act this naive and stupid that we're not going to test this? Pay attention to what WB is doing. They're remaining silent for a reason, and I'm going to make a whole conversation just about that because I think people are doing way too much. And I think movie pundits have been grifting the fuck out of this because we all want to get some information out and want to provide content to get the most views, information, so we can sell merch. We can sell all these other things that we want to bring to the table. Yo, that's why I say some of the people that fight, quote unquote, against grifting, quote unquote, are grifters no different. A little bit more positive grifters, but grifters nonetheless. You're selling people product. You're trying to move product. This is a business. And just like any business, you're going to do what you want to do. Like, i.e., let's do it this way. And I'm not going to get wrapped up into this. We're going to get into the meat of it. But I will do one just specifically focusing on the BS that is us YouTube movie pundits. Because and hear me out, I'm going to break it down a lot better later on, and y'all going to get that. But we all want to discuss it. We don't want to see Amber Heard in the film because we don't like what she was doing in her personal life, and it's inconsistent with how WB had treated Depp, so I get all of that. But the moment it becomes like team this, team that, are we even looking for the truth anymore? Yeah, you might have joined Team Johnny or Team Heard or whatever, because you thought they were speaking the truth. But if you don't find out that you're on the wrong side of the truth, people have doubled down, fought, argued so much in favor of their favorite celebrity that the moment they are found to be wrong or inaccurate, no one wants to moonwalk all the shit that they was running their mouth off back, because it's a bad look. You look like you're incompetent. You make your platform look like it just basically chases ambulances, so you double down. And then you find nifty ways to kind of spin it. Like one of my favorite YouTubers have done with the Zack Snyder, I was right. There was no cut. He said it himself, that's why. And it's like, yo, there was a cut. And then you'll be like, oh, no, but all movies have cuts, but what do you think that people were looking for? The cut. Bro, you're doing way too much. But you'll start off and say, I was right. There was no cut. There was just the assembly cut. But that was the cut that was the cut people wanted. Like, I don't know. That was his cut. That was his cut. No, but it was 100% finished. No one... We said release the Snyder Cut. Where in the hashtag did anyone ever say it was 100% written? Well, I knew one person that... And it's just like, now commence the rolling eyes. You're so good at it, but we get so wrapped up in wanting to be right that when we forget, we thought our answer was the truth. But now, and the truth was the right answer. Now, when you find out you're wrong, instead of having a slice of your slice of humble pie, we double down to look for reasons, because we've stopped looking for, this has no longer been about looking for what was right and what was truthful. This has become about proving that I was right and providing information that it was me and I had all the answers. And then it becomes something else. So when you have your team, someone riding a certain team, if you will, you're going to ride that team out all the way to the end. Even if you find certain small things that might make you question your team, you're not going to bring that to the light. You're not even going to talk about it. You're going to double down and use everything that's working in the algorithm. And what's working in the algorithm right now? Amber Heard's name. So why wouldn't you want to feast on it? And again, that's part of the grift, part of the hustle, the grind, getting bread. You know, we're going to double down and keep talking about something, not because I really have much commentary to add to it per se. It's more because if I get a video out, I could bring that to bring people to my platform, and there's nothing wrong with that hustle. But just make sure that you have something quality to say. A person will make a video just to ramble on to say basically the same thing you said in another video. Did you really need that video right now? And sometimes say you need to say it again. I'm not knocking it. But let's be clear. When you notice everybody's talking about it and you're now talking about it, then it's the game. It's the game. So I get why people would want to push any narrative when your team this or team that. And as we're talking to this, if you're Team Johnny, you're going to push any old narrative that supports what you want. That means that every petitious site that says, please get rid of Amber Heard, we demand you to get rid of Amber Heard. Like, how the fuck is you to demand me? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we're going to demand it. Fine. If for whatever noble reasons, or maybe even shallow reasons, if you can find one for why you want to get her removed, but needless to say, you're going to run with every little tidbit of information that makes her look bad. Whether it's right or wrong. Like, you don't really need to help her look bad. She does fine on her own. You know what I'm saying? But people will go run to it because algorithm, and they just want to double down. And look, man, I get it. I get the idea behind it. But we got to really be realistic. This is a business. Zaslav just took over WB. It's now WB Discovery. All things get paused. You think that review the 20 minutes, you know what that was about? That was actually the whole film. More than likely the film in its original design before they created a cut where she got scrolled back to 10 minutes. And maybe even people considering, there's all the rumors out there that she'll be cut out completely out the film. Now here's the thing. At the trial, she mentions that she's supposed to have a baby. They're going to do the arc where more than likely, I'm sure they're going to probably take Arthur Curry's hand and he'll have a hook at one point like he did in the comics. And then eventually, I think he had like a water hand that got put together by Mirror, if you will. So, and to create that drama, in order for, and people were happy that her minute time went down to like 10 minutes. I was kind of disappointed. Not because I wanted more Amber Heard, even though I thought she was fine as Mirror. She didn't really do nothing impressive, but she was fine as Mirror. I think that they didn't write that film to produce any real chemistry between them. It was very Disney-fied, you know? So my thing is this. Why would you be surprised that Zaslav wanted to see every part of the film? They don't want an incident where they go back to chopping up the film and it's at the expense of the film. More than likely, you're going to have to recast her. If you're, for all of that, why cut her? Because you're not just cutting Amber Heard, you're cutting the character out. That means all the beats that you're saying, that Walter Amato was on the record for saying that he didn't think that they had chemistry. I don't buy that, but fine. If you didn't think she had chemistry and you're thinking about getting her out the film, then you're going to have to rework that. Now, the thing is, did they shoot a lot of scenes with her and other people that they can't it's hard to get all the people scheduled together for that scene to work, to be back in the same place. And then, there's supposed to be a big action sequence. Can you realistically reshoot that specific thing, especially if you already poured the money into all the CG work? People forget this is money. Like, at the end of the day, there's money behind this. It's a fucking business. And part of the business is people in their fees will try to fuck with the economics of your business. So now you have to consider it. That's why they're considering every option. And that's all they're doing. Zaslav is going around going through everything. He don't want another Snyder Cut fiasco, and not so much Snyder Cut, is more closer to what they did with BVS when they had to force him to cut the film a certain kind of way, which left a lot of things that changed for a lot of people the direction of the film for them. So for me, I believe they're exploring all options. They're going through the thing to see how they can reshoot her scenes, and then they're going to choose what's the most economically, but financially, and dare I say it, because in the court of public opinion, WB is out there now for jumping the gun on Johnny so much, and now being more reserved moving forward before they make hasty decisions. And that's where they're at. And a lot of people say it's like Johnny. No, it's not. And I'm glad one movie pundit actually expressed that. No, that film was done, was shot. Aquaman 2 is shot already. Johnny Depp and whatchamacallit, he barely was in the film before they had to sit him out, and they still paid him. And they took the rest on the chin. They can't do that here. They can't. The film is shot just like The Flash. And again, well, I'll figure out how we could have this conversation with Ezra Miller, because I don't know how to approach it all the way I want to without making it more about how I feel about him. I got to focus on the character and how it hurts the franchise moving forward. But again, we'll get to it. But one thing I will say is, I cannot be mad at the WB for finally playing this game closer to their chest. And before you're so quick to make a comment, sit back, exercise all alternatives. This is what Zaslav is doing. Don't get it fucked up. Zaslav is paying very close attention to what's going on with this. And they're in a weird space dealing with Heard and Ezra Miller. Now, unless they have more information that they can't disclose to us, they're just in a bad way. You can't just. They're already overspent on J.J. Abrams, who's produced nothing. Years they made this deal, and they haven't seen any, and nothing came. Just we're writing a couple of these, yeah, but you ain't do nothing. So now they're not gonna be interested in just throwing money around, especially after they spent so much money to acquire WB. No one's just going to Zaslav like, fuck, I don't care what WB did before. This is WB Discovery, and we're doing something else. And this is one thing that I will say people got to also understand. No, they didn't. They're inconsistent. They have every reason to be inconsistent, because WB is over. This is WB Discovery. Whole new ballpark. This is not WB doing what they were doing before. A lot of these people are getting their walking papers. This is no longer, you can't no longer say what the WB did do. You got to start calling it for what it is. And what is it? WB Discovery. And y'all need to know that. And Zav's Lab is, if I was Zav's Lab, that's the first thing I'm going to say. Hey, I know you're going to say we at the WB. No. That was WB. This is WB Discovery. This is a brand new company. Yeah, we take on all the baggage from before, but this is not the same company. Would you have asked Discovery to apologize for what they did before? No, because they ain't do anything. This is WB Discovery. It's a brand new business, brand new company. Get to know us. So anything that happened before, that's not us, because we don't even have the people that made those decisions in the building anymore. So it's going to be hard to, so look at us as a new company. And that would probably be the best way to go, so people don't have to keep saying, well, y'all did. No, WB did. This is WB Discovery. Next question. I won't even get too deep. No, but you. Yes, the company formerly known as Warner Brothers did. But this is Warner Brothers Discovery. Next question. I can only answer WB Discovery questions. Boom. And that's how you curve all of this. I'm not answering for something that I didn't do. That's something that Walter Amada should have been on the record for saying. I don't know what people got an issue with me for. I wasn't even there for all of this. I just got promoted. I'm just doing my job and trying to bring everybody together. Now, you might not like the way that I'm going about trying to do so, but the end result was to bring everyone together. I didn't take Ray Fisher out. Ray Fisher took himself out of the franchise. Fuck it. But that's how they need to start interacting with people. Stop. I wouldn't even play with them. But bottom line is that why would they, if they took Amber Heard out, it would suffer the movie, especially if she was in a big part of it and she was supposed to have a kid and the kid was supposed to die. It'll be a moment of, it'll be BVS all over again in terms of not going into Man of Steel 2, so we get, before we do BVS. Let's do Man of Steel 2 before BVS. So that this Man of Steel 2, we can make sure that we can see the growth of the character as he becomes a super. And then in BVS, then you could kill him off and call it like the trilogy. And then do it like that in BVS. Like, I don't know, Man of Steel 2, BVS. Or Man of Steel 3, BVS. Or Man of Steel 3. And then call it Man of Steel 3, BVS. And then make the movie BVS. Then I would make a movie called BVS, Dawn of Justice. That's what they could have did. And that could have been your part 3. And I don't think Zaz Lab is because what they did with the BVS is they cut up BVS to make it more of a Batman film. Because I remember that was what they were saying in the rumor mills at the time. I was like really following it heavy. So you got to think about it this way. When they edited it, a lot of people felt like it took away a lot of plot points and suffered. The BVS movie suffered because of it. Well, in this instant, you want to play the whole thing out, because they said that there was a screening where she was barely in 10 minutes of it. Well, you know what Zaz Labs probably said? You'll play the whole joint with it, and let's see what the audience says. Now, if the audience says, oh, it's a much better film, but we just can't get over Amber Heard, you know what he might do? Get rid of the bitch. Just like that. Reshoot it. Or they might have a hard time trying to schedule to reshoot it, because remember, they need Flashpoint to come out first, because that's supposed to set off this universe. So just like if Flashpoint doesn't work, if they have an issue with Flashpoint, well, Flashpoint is gonna affect the Batwoman movie. there's a slippery slope with this shit, because you can't throw the Batwoman movie out before Flash if they're gonna reset the whole universe to this new weird environment. You can't do that, and I think that's what will affect the film. It'll suffer the film, and I think what Zaslav is doing is trying to see how audience will feel if we put her in the whole film as she was supposed to. Because if they feel like the focus groups is like, nah, and if just watching her took them out of the film, guess what they're gonna do? They'll just get rid of her. Fuck it. I'll take that. And I'll take that whatever million hit you got for her, and then you have to add in how much it is to, like, say, like, all the salaries that's gonna go into filming all those scenes and stuff like that. And if, let's say it equates to $5 million, well, guess what? You can take the $5 million, the negative $5 million. You know why? Because imagine how much money you would have been in the red for had you didn't have the success that you needed for Aquaman 2 that you could have had Amber Heard not had her shenanigans out here in these streets for everyone to have to make an opinion on. So I think he's just trying to get these focus groups to see what's the best alternative, because I'm sure he's ready to cut her, but he doesn't. It's money involved, so you're gonna have to balance it with the audience reactions that's seen it. And if having her as her character in the film will distract too much from the story in the film, then they'll consider keeping her in as little of it as possible, which means that they don't have to shoot really anything as much. You know what I mean? To get around that. But then the thing is if the film isn't cohesive, or you don't find that chemistry that you needed between the two to sell the relationship, so that when Arthur has his kid, you could buy into this, we're finally a family, to if there's one afterwards where he loses his child is murdered by Black Manta, as it were in the comics, if I'm not mistaken, and then he loses an arm, and a hand, and he has a hook for a hand. I mean, there's just so much you can go with this character. But you'd have to buy into the core relationship between him and Mera. And if Walter Amada was speaking like factually, if they were having a hard time having chemistry, and the reason why we didn't notice it because the director was good enough to put it together in such a manner that you wouldn't notice that they don't have as much physical chemistry as you would have preferred, then I could understand. But again, they're going to exercise all their options first before they pull the trigger on what to do very specifically, because too many films are wrapped up in this, and all they need is another fucking actor to act a whole asshole, and then we're just going to have to like get rid of this whole thing, because everybody is tied to this Flashpoint film that has a whole lot of issues with their actor, that it's not realistic to reshoot the whole movie again. People just like to say, hey, just shoot the movie up. You got it. Like, nah, they overpaid for WB. Oh, excuse me, not WB. I'm thinking about Fox. That's what Fox was overpaid for by Disney. But either way, they paid a lot of bread for WB Discovery. Yes, they did. They got to get their money back. And one of the easiest ways a new CEO would do it is by cutting a lot of fat. Cutting a lot of fat that they didn't need. And I think that's what Zaslav is doing. Prepping up the table and seeing how much fat is on this. Because they're going to have to cut the fat out. And that means that they got to cut Amber Heard out, fine. That means they got to lower her screen time, fine. Whatever it takes, as long as the movie still can resonate with the audience. And if seeing too much of her Amber Heard takes people out of the film, then they're going to put as little of her in there as possible. If too much people keep saying that, hey, there's a double standard, and now that people are rising up to the double standard, that they do with guys and ladies, then here it is. And then again, there's just so much around it that you'd have to kind of tiptoe through the tulips on this, because you don't want to make this any worse. And I think that's what no one wants, especially Zaslav, because it would damage the brand, that a marquee brand, and they don't need that. So I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think they've made a decision yet. As far as we know, she's in the movie. Deadline does not, there's no Deadline reports onto it. Variety is the only one that has a report, and they already reporting that, I'm not going to say that this is some BS, but that insider had told them that, no, Amber Heard was not fired from Aquaman 2, despite the viral report. And this was an article written by William Earl. And if I may, we're going to just read the first part of this Variety article. And again, written by William Earl. And it goes, despite a report that Amber Heard was fired from her role as Mera in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, a source tells Variety that she has not been cut from the movie. A spokesperson for Heard said in a statement to Variety, "The rumor mill continues as it has from day one. Inaccurate, insensitive, and slightly insane." And I'm not really mad at her for that insane, because people a little insane out there, man. Heard previously played the key role of Mera in the first Aquaman, as well as appearing in Justice League, and then reconfigured in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And the article goes on, but we shall not go any deeper because it's not needed. I read the article. As much as the article is, they wanted to backtrack a lot of, not backtrack, but talk about a lot of stuff from prior. But it's right there. They have an inside source saying that that's not the case. Now, no one will know until the movie comes out. Let's just be for real. I think they're looking at that as an option, but I don't think they've made a decision yet. Ezra Miller, they might have made a decision already. We just won't know until they tell it to us. I wouldn't be surprised if he still stays. It wouldn't be surprised if he leaves. Who knows? We'll find out. I'm trying my best to walk down the middle on that one, because we don't know. You know, the little things that we do know, I feel a way about, because but like I said, I don't want to have that conversation here. We'll have that on another thing where I can give that my undivided attention. But the thing is, it's rumor mill. I know we all would like Amber Heard to get her comeuppance, and it looked like she already has, and it's just started, and she's gonna make it even worse by running her mouth on interviews. But the bottom line is that she still has the high ground as a woman. But more than that, even though she was kind of set back a few, the bottom line is that we won't know until the movie comes out where she stands in the film. And they're not going to let us know anytime soon unless some other information comes out. And that's what we really need to do. Wait for the information to come and make some sound commentary, some sound conversation. And I hope we had it here today, because we could think one way until the information comes out that makes us go, oh, now everything makes sense. So what I'm just trying to do personally is reserve a lot of my smoke, because I'd hate to hear some new information come that makes everything that we thought just bullshit. But again, leave in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Amber Heard was really fired from Aquaman? You think that they really were going to do that? Zaslav, like that's the first thing he's going to do because we can't stand Amber Heard or quote unquote Amber Turd, if that's what you want to do. You're playing yourself. Legit playing yourself. What you really need to do is follow. It all starts with the bankroll and how much that's going to affect the bankroll. You know, how much are we going to be in the hole by scrapping the whole movie? Because we can't just scrap this movie. People are like, oh, just give it a streaming. This is a lot of bread. You can't just scrap the movie to the win. You just can't. It's got to make money, and it's got to get its max amount of money. And people will think, well, then go to HBO Max, and I just don't see it. And to confuse the audience on what's the proper sequel, it's so much. You even sully their franchise for the second film to come out post COVID pandemic, and we're still going to be like, I'm gonna like I don't know. I just don't see them just throwing a film away that's already been shot, because that's more money they're throwing away, and they don't need to throw any more money away. As you can see, they're consolidating and reorganizing and restructuring the business to be in a way where it can maximize its full potential of profits. And you're not going to go do that by just throwing money at every old issue. You know, I don't think that's the way Zaslav is going to approach this, especially with the budget being so high. It's just not realistic. It's just like us just burning that money away, and that can't be. We want to merchandise. We want to make as much money off of Aquaman 3 as possible. Imagine you missed out on, let's say it doesn't make $1 billion. Let's just say 800. You missed out on 800 for a release date. You missed, and all the that could do advertising the property, that you could actually start selling like action figures from the film. Like, people don't understand, that's money. A lot of money that could have been made, but for the sake of the fans, I will just recast. So what if I tag on another $200 or $150 million to do some ragtag shot like that? Because remember, this has to set the precedent for what? The other films that's coming right after it with The Flash. And these setbacks, if they can't get to doing it, it's just going to set itself back even further. So because they already pushed back the Flash film, and now that they pushed back Aquaman, they'll have as much time as they may need to exercise the possibility of reshooting all of her scenes all over again. And that is actually probably more realistic as to why they showed the other night the full film. They want to know the best response. The full film, to the 10-minute clip, and or what can we do after that? And that's what they're doing. If you ask me, they're just trying to itemize and see which one works. And if the full film works best with her, yeah, if most of their feedback is, yo, we loved it, but she takes us out of the film. Why? Because of the jury selection, boom, they get rid of her. If you find a good sample size of a lot of people feeling a way about Amber Heard, then it may behoove them to do so. But again, you have to be smart when making those type of assumptions. You're playing with a lot of other people's money, and the last thing you want to do is F that up. You know what I mean? You got a lot of people were tied to this film. Salaries were made making this film. To reshoot all of that again, like I said, I'm not saying it cannot be done, but they got other movies ready to go that need to come out after the Flash movie. And if you can't, and if everything happens after the Flash, you're gonna set your cinematic universe backwards, because you're already gonna have people getting confused. And especially if they have their, I mean, like I said, it's just not going to be a good look. But again, we went on more than long enough. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think that I'm onto something? Do you believe that this is all about, the only reason why they played one with like 20-something odd minutes of her in it is because they want to know, does it make sense that they have to cut everything out of her? And if they do, how much that's going to set the studio back on money. And then the next thing you got to think about is, again, not just Aquaman that comes after what comes after Aquaman is the Batgirl that they're filming right now. Like, you got other movies that need Flash to come first to explain why this corner of the universe is so much different than when Zack Snyder shepherded. So at least you can have a seamless transition of going from what we dealt with from before to where we're at now. But I don't know. Again, I said more than a little bit. Leave it in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Do I make sense? You know what I mean? Like does it make sense? Take your emotion out of it. Let's remove Amber Heard from this. Let's not make this about her. Let's make it about what I said. And do you feel that it makes sense why they're not saying anything anymore? Zaslav is in the building. So it's a new, everything is, it's new. And now we got to figure out how do we make the most out of what was shot. Because I'm almost positive after him putting caps on films for the streaming branch, I'm sure he has a cap on how much he at least, if it ain't a franchise film, on what he's willing to output or outsource. And this is a sensitive situation. I still don't know if they're willing to redo everything. I just don't see it. But again, leave it in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. See you next time. And as always, till I have a better outro. Chill.